Hi y'all, my name is Kayla and welcome to my cozy chaotic corner of the internet. So, in today's video, we have another TBR bingo game for the month of June. This month, I'm switching things up a little bit. So in the past, our reading prompts have always been just that, reading prompts, just kind of little read a book with the color red in the cover, or read a book that has a name in the title. But this month, because I've had an influx of books in my own physical library, I've decided I really want to hone in and focus on those books. So this month, there are multiple of the same prompts on our bingo card. We have Storygraph picks my book based on my TBR that's in Storygraph. We have my TBR pickle jar dictates what book we read. This contains every single book that I physically own that I have not read yet. That's what's in here. And then we have first unread book on my shelves and last unread book on my shelves. There's just something satisfying about like having one whole shelf just being like, I know I have read every single book on that shelf. With that noted, let's actually rewind a little bit and catch up on May. I do actually print off my bingo cards and I like follow along with them, which is why this one looks a little questionable. We have some coffee stains, some water stains. Clearly, it wasn't sitting on like a pristine little shelf all month. It was heavily utilized. But for the month of May, we had to read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We were supposed to read 19 books. Of those 19 books, I picked up, opened, and started reading 11. And of those 11, I completed 8 of the books. And the 8 books I completed were None of This Is True, The Hawthorne Legacy, The Woman in Cabin 10, Northanger Abbey, Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, Six of Crows, Recursion, and Johannes Cabal, the Necromancer. But with that noted, I didn't complete a bingo line. And for anyone new here, the rules to TBR bingo is pretty simple. You pull balls until you get a bingo. The only books that I am required to read are the books in my bingo line. If I do not complete my line of bingo, I have to play Four Corners the next month, so we'll get to that part. And the rules were, I was only allowed one DNF / I could not read one book. So if I don't read all the books that are listed, I do not get a free space. But some of you lovely human beings said, you know what, Kayla, you should be a little bit more lenient on that DNF rule because, you know, everyone is allowed to like start a book and not force themselves through it. Because of you lovely people, I am just accepting and honing in my ability to DNF a book. And what the rule is now going to be is I'm allowed to not start one book. I am allowed to DNF as many books as I like, but I will state that to make things, you know, still a little bit more competitive, I don't want to like just read a page or two and DNF a book. If after 30 pages, I'm just not feeling a book, I think it's okay to set it down. So the DNF rule is off the table. I can DNF as many books as I want, but I did want to put in the stipulation of if I'm gonna DNF a book, I have to give a fair chance, and I can't just like set a book down and be like, oh, I started all of the books, I just DNF'd all of them. There has to be valid reasons for why I'm DNFing a book. The new rules are I have to get a bingo line, so I keep playing bingo, keep racking up those books until I get a bingo on the card. For my bingo, I do have to read all the books in my bingo. I'm allowed to not start one book. So rules are slightly updated, slightly changed. I hope you guys are okay with that. And I like the idea of just allowing myself to DNF books. Now, because last month I didn't technically finish a bingo line at all, this month we gotta do 4 corners. And if y'all have ever played Four Corners,
oh my God, what the fuck?
You may as well play Blackout. 90% of the time. You may as well play blackout. So 4 corners is literally you get each corner of, you just got to play until you get each corner of the card. The one nice thing about this though is that now I'm only required to read 4 books instead of 5. But with all of that noted, let's start pulling balls. G51, last unread book from your bookshelf. One of the reasons I'm standing up today is because I'm going to be moving around my bookcases. You can't see everything, but I do want to know kind of how my books are laid out for y'all. I have my books listed alphabetical by author's last name, and it goes like A's, goes here, hops down here, cuts down over here. I know you guys can't really see that. Comes down here, and then we end up down here. But with that noted, we're actually going to hop down here to the Z's. Smashed, Story of Drunken Girlhood. So I am 99.9% positive I've actually read this book before back in like junior high school. But to be quite frank, I'm not 100% sure. I just remember seeing this in a little free library one day and I'm like, that looks so familiar. I'm pretty sure I've read that before. I-19, the TBR jar. We have my TBR pickle jar. So let's just shake this up a bit. See what we get. Should have folded these differently because a lot of them are literally just like stacking into each other. Okay, I think that's one. Okay, y'all. We have The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. I've actually owned this book for a while now. I went through a phase where I just got rid of a bunch of dust jackets. So Girl on the Train is one of the ones where I got rid of the dust cover. I've actually never seen Girl on the Train, the movie, so that's fun. I have zero context what this book is going to be about. G50, Storygraph pick. So this is Storygraph. What we're going to do is we're just going to click this little refresh button and then we will pick one of the books that populate here. I will note that the books that appear here are not only books that I personally own, but also books that I'm interested in. All I'm going to be doing is from this section picking books that I own. With all that noted, let's get going. Okay, so from this selection, I own these 2 books. Ooh, I think I'm gonna go with The Murder of Mr. Wickham. This is a, not really retelling, but a spin-off of Pride and Prejudice. Mr. Wickham is one of the characters in Pride and Prejudice. Ooh, y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I've never really read the back synopsis of it. I just knew it was like a Pride and Prejudice retelling, but this sounds like a almost Clue-like situation where everyone's at the Knightleys' house for a dinner party and Mr. Wickham ends up no more. And so it's like a whodunit, trying to figure out who offed Mr. Wickham, because everyone is a suspect. Oh my god, that's fun. I don't know why I never actually read the synopsis. I was just like, oh, Mr. Wickham, and I bought it. Oh, 63, Storygraph pick. Okay, next of these books, I own We the Drowned and A Ghost in the Throat. Ooh, okay, so We the Drowned is actually a book that I literally only read when I'm on some sort of waterfront, and it's a chunky book. So I'm not gonna go with We the Drowned just because that is kind of iconically my beach read at this point. So we're just gonna go with A Ghost in the Throat. So we have A Ghost in the Throat. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even gonna pretend to pronounce this author's name because I'm pretty sure it is a Gaelic or Celtic name. This is from the land of Ireland. I've actually owned this book for a while. I can already tell this is going to be a doozy just in the fact that it has a lot of Irish names in it, to say the least. G57 Storygraph Pick. Okay, a better selection this round. So I own The Martian, Kill for Me, Kill for You, Mr. Dickens and His Christmas Carol, and The Girls Are Also Nice Here. Of these four, this one's so tough. Oh my goodness. Let's go with Kill for Me, Kill for You. Okay, y'all. So we have Kill for Me, Kill for You by Steve Kavanagh. And this is the story of two human beings that meet each other and they tell each other about their unfortunate series of events. And it pretty much boils down to they both have someone who they just don't really want around anymore. So they come to this ultimatum of like, hey, if I, get rid of XYZ, will you get rid of ABC? And they agree to those conditions. I-27, first unread book from bookshelf. Okay, so we are heading up over here. We have Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher. So this is technically a part of a interwoven series. I actually got this for a reading prompt for I think our first TBR bingo game ever, and I didn't get around to reading it, so Lauren Asher, you're first on the list. Oh, and the reason why I'm comfortable reading that is because the series is about like there's three brothers. So each book is about like each individual brother, and while the characters are like interwoven, I don't think it's going to be imperative that I read book 1 to understand what's going on in book 2 from not only like the reviews and critiques I've heard of the series, but just the general synopsis on the back. I'm like, I don't think I need to read book 1 to, delve into book 2. G58 TBR jar. Also, why am I holding up above my head? It's like not like I can cheat and be like, which one am I pulling? Okay, y'all. So we have Good. I need to just read this book so I can get it off my shelf. Murder Road by Simone St. James. If y'all watched my last book haul, you would know I am not a fan of this Evernight edition of Murder Road. I have read Simone St. James before, and I really enjoyed the book until it hit like the plot twist, and then I hated it. I'm just gonna read this, and pretty much I told my sister, because she likes Simone St. James and she like loves this cover. Bombastic side eye. Yeah. That I told her if I didn't like the book, she will probably find this at her door. We're gonna take this one out for a drive. B4 Storygraph Pick. Of the books in this selection, I own The Serpent and the Wings of Night and Death Comes to Pemberley. You know what? Let's just make this a little Jane Austen theme moment going on here. And we're gonna go with Death Comes to Pemberley. Y'all, we're having a little Jane Austen Pride and Prejudice theme. We have Death Comes to Pemberley. Because I don't have the dust jacket for it, I actually don't know what this book is about. I don't think the synopsis is anywhere in here. Sometimes like synopses will be on this page. I don't know anything about this book, but we'll see what it's about. N35 Storygraph Pick. Ooh, I don't own any of these. Okay. So of these ones, I actually only own Whiskey, Words, and a Shovel, so that makes my choice easy. Whiskey, Words, and a Shovel. So this is actually a poetry book that I've owned for a very long time, and I've like skimmed through the poems, but I don't know, this will kind of be like a nice breather too. Like I don't think I'm gonna just sit down and read this all in one go, but it might be nice to like pick up and read in between books, just like read a couple poems, go to the next book, read a couple poems, go to the next book. So I think this will be like a nice little buffer book. Oh, 68 first unread book from bookshelf. We already pulled terms and conditions. And next we have, continuing on with the Jane Austen, Mansfield Park. Y'all, these Chiltern editions are absolutely stunning. I mean, look at that. Gorgeous. It has the gold edges. These are so stunning. The only complaint I have about it is that the pages are like these shiny pages. I'll read the synopsis because it's pretty quick. Shy young Fanny Price is sent to live with wealthy relatives at Mansfield Park, where of her 4 cousins, only Edmund shows her any real kindness. When the wealthy, flirtatious Henry Crawford and his vivacious sister Mary arrive in the neighborhood, Fanny's world is thrown into disarray. Edmund falls under the spell of Mary, while Henry declares his love for Fanny. But the path to happiness doesn't run smoothly.
Jinx.
N31. Storygraph pick. Okay, so I own these 3 right here. The Disappearing Spoon, Can't Spell Treason Without Tea, Even If Your Heart Would Listen. The Disappearing Spoon is a nonfiction, so I'm just gonna cross that one out. Okay, of these 2, I've owned Even If Your Heart Would Listen the longest, so I think I'm gonna go with this one. So we have Even If Your Heart Would Listen, Losing My Daughter to Heroin. This is about a woman whose youngest daughter overdosed on heroin in her early 30s. It's kind of just the story of the life that was left behind and the daughter's struggles with drug addiction and how kind of the system failed her. She had gone to a lot of facilities to try and get help, but clearly whatever was being done just wasn't good enough. So it really documents and delves into the daughter's story. And I believe this is a true story, so this is going to be probably a pretty dense read and probably a very difficult read, but sometimes you just gotta read the difficult stories. Oh, 62. We are heading back into the TBR pickle jar. Let's see what we got going here. It's really just the most difficult part is just pulling one. We are working with Hot Berry Punch. That is so funny. This was actually on the May TBR, and I started it, but I didn't finish it. It is a pretty dense read, and just the writing style is kind of it's lyrical, but it's not lyrical. I don't know how to explain it. There's a lot of big words that I just don't understand sometimes, but I found that the more I read it, the easier it got. So I did get about 30 pages in. B3. We are back in our TBR pickle jar. Let's see what else we can get today. Ooh, yeah! We have Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands. Y'all, I loved Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia Fairies, so oh my gosh, yes, I'm so excited. I would have eventually just read this on my own, whether it was on this TBR or not, but I'm so excited that this ended up in this stack. So excited. Oh my god, so good. So good. Yay! Oh, 70. Storygraph pick. Okay, we can work with this. I actually own all of these except for The Shadow Between Us. Ooh. This one's tough, actually. I've owned Burnt Tongues and The Wicked Boy the longest, but I just got The Dangerous Ones. I'm going to throw a curveball, and we're going to go with My Sister, the Serial Killer. We have My Sister, the Serial Killer. So this is a story about 2 sisters. One is a nurse and the other is a famous social media influencer. The social media influencer sister has a tendency to get rid of boyfriends or relations that treat her poorly. And so this just goes through the dynamic between the two sisters and how it's shifting because of this new pastime that the social media influencer sister has. B2 TBR jar time. I don't know, there's something just really like therapeutic about like shaking a jar and pulling stuff from it. I don't know. Okay. We have the Last Mrs. Parrish. Perfect. I'm pretty sure the second one to this is coming out, and I just recently purchased this. I have heard nothing but phenomenal things about it, specifically from a Miss Haley Hughes. And to be quite frank, I don't really remember what it's about. I just heard fantastic things. Oh, wait, no, hold on. I remember kind of giving a synopsis for this. So it's about this woman, Amber. And she's just kind of a nobody, you know, just living life as a nobody. And there's this woman, Daphne. Oh my God, Daphne. She is just living the life. She has the perfect life, the perfect husband, the perfect everything. And Amber comes into Daphne's life. Daphne is Parrish. Daphne's last name is Parrish. And Amber comes into her life and, you know, sees how she can jumble things up a bit. I'm so excited. Y'all, I don't know why, but so far this stack is stacking up. I-30, first unread book from bookshelf. So I've read Northanger Abbey and I've read Pride and Prejudice. So next we have The Elegance of the Hedgehog by Muriel Barbary. I'm not gonna lie, I actually don't know what this book is about. This was gifted to me by a friend over the holidays. It's giving Eloise vibes. There's an older woman who, she's a concierge for an elegant hotel in Paris. And there's Paloma, a super smart 12-year-old who lives on the 5th floor. Eloise vibes. B12. Back to the pickled TBR jar. Kind of want to get like a manga. That'd be nice. Ooh, this is a new addition to the library, and that is The Mystery Writer by Solari Gentile, and that is hanging out right down Shmia. I read The Woman and the Librarian by Solari Gentile, I think last year, and I enjoyed it so much. It was such a fun, quick, easy read, so I'm kind of hoping that The Mystery Writer is in that same just fun, easy read. N36. We are back in the TBR pickle jar. It's actually kind of fun. Come on, Gila. Get one. Just one. If You Tell by Greg Olson. Y'all, this is another heavy one. If I remember correctly, this is based on a true story. Yeah. This is about a very sadistic and abusive mother, and this is going to be a tough one. That's just like, seeing when I pulled that out of the jar, I was just like, oh my God. I just felt heavy all of a sudden, like the energy shifted. I really do want to read it, but I know it's going to be a tough one to read. Oh, 66. Bingo! Back into the TBR pickle jar. We need like a little ditty for that. TBR pickle jar. We got our TBR pickle jar. TBR. Okay, I'll stop. Oh, that's like a huge chunk of them. I'm just gonna. Okay. We have The Haunting. Ooh. I think this was actually my most recent purchase? I'm not sure. The Haunting, I'm pretty sure this was also mentioned in either a Haley Hughes or a Jordaline video, if I remember correctly. But I'll quick read the back because it's pretty fast. Penny knows she must forget about her ex Nash. Ever since his father was revealed as a brutal serial killer who traumatized their small town last Halloween, Penny's parents have forbidden her to have anything to do with Nash or his family. It's hard not to think of him, but she's trying. That stops when she goes shopping with friends for a costume. What she finds instead is ripped from a horror movie. Someone from school bleeding out on the floor of a dressing room. Stabbed. People are quick to blame Nash and his sister, Grace, but as Halloween nears and the body count rises, Penny can't help thinking this copycat killer is someone no one else suspects. Okay, y'all, so for the month of June, we have a beautiful 19 books to choose from. With that noted, we do have 4 required books because those are my 4 corners. The 4 required books are Death Comes to Pemberley, Mansfield Park, Emily Wilds, and The Haunting. So just a reminder, if I complete my bingo, aka 4 corners for the month of June, then I can just play a normal card of bingo for the month of July. And so a normal bingo would either be 5 diagonal, 5 up and down, or 5 across. And if I read all of these, I get to have my little free space back again. I do want to note, just to remind y'all, we are allowed as many DNFs as we want. I just have to have like somewhat of a valid reason for DNFing a book. Give it at least a little bit of a chance before I set it down. And I'm allowed 1 book that I just don't even have to pretend to start reading. So technically I have to read 18 of the 19 books to get just a completely normal card of bingo. Will that ever happen?
The world may never know.
With that noted, thank you so much for joining me on this bingo TBR adventure for the month of June. Y'all, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit those notifications so you're the first to know when the May wrap-up video is posted. If you made it to the end, let me know in the comments down below what reading prompts would you like to see next. I'm always looking for new ideas, so I would love if I could add some of your guys' ideas to the card. With that noted, y'all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see y'all in the next one.
See you later, skater girl.
Okay, bye, hater.